Hey everyone! For my capstone project, I'm going to be reading part of my paper, describing what I decided to do. I'm actually doing it on something that I already have implemented in my classroom. I teach third grade, and something that I have is the calming corner. Most teachers have something similar. They call it the calming corner or the quiet corner, or even like a library, but they have other things in their library. I have a classroom of 25 and sometimes 27 students at a time. And so at the beginning of the year, I didn't know that I would even need something like this, but we're halfway through the school year and I've used this place a lot for some of the kids who have struggles. So part of the purpose of the Calming Corner is a safe place for students who need time to decompress. This will help students regulate their emotions, reduce stress, and offer safe pathways back into learning. So, for example, I have mainly one that needs this corner more than the rest of the class. He has a hard time regulating his emotions, and he doesn't like to be told to get started on work, or he doesn't like his peers that are in his group to say, hey, could you please get started? And he easily gets overwhelmed, he gets upset, and then he throws things. So when I'm trying to walk around the class and I have 24 other students that I'm helping, sometimes I just need to have him calm down, and he will just go sit in our corner, and we have books over there. There's some toys. There's a pillow. Sometimes kids like to either just sit and play to decompress, or sometimes they just want to sit or lay down. Sometimes they just want to lay down in the corner on a rug, and I have a beanbag as well, and that's what they like. But they need that in order to come back into curriculum. If I just sat there and made him just sit there the whole time, he would not do work. He would sit there and he'd be mad, and then nothing is getting through to him, and then I'm frustrated. So now no one's learning. So students need additional support and help, but when they can't get it instantly, they become irritated and agitated. The Calming Corner is where they can go for a minute of quiet time and have that time to gather their thoughts and to get back to work. I like having that safe place so that I'm not saying go outside, because I know that there are older grades where they have asked their students, just go stand outside the door. I don't like that. I like them to be where I can see them to be in my view, where I can watch to see if they're calming down, and then ask them and invite them to come join our class discussion again. Context and rationale. The Calming Corner is in my elementary classroom. In third grade, children really, I noticed, start to develop stronger personalities and they feel heavier emotions. I have a daughter who's actually this age, and I have noticed the summer between second and third grade, they are not babies anymore, and they are feeling a lot of feelings. And while it's great that some kids can regulate those feelings, some just do not have either the support or the ability to manage their feelings, and so they get overwhelmed very easy, especially when they're learning new things, new concepts, and it's not coming as easily as they'd like it to. Then they just they almost give up on themselves, and it can be overwhelming and sad. In schools, there are many challenges that students face, and some of them that I mentioned in my paper here is feeling excluded due to having learning disabilities, having anger issues in class due to not having proper self-regulation, having limited opportunities to express themselves at home, and struggles with getting along with peers. Nowadays, and it's been around for a while, you see a lot of students that have IEPs or learning disabilities, and so for them, or English learners, they have their learning barriers. They can get easily overwhelmed and feel embarrassed that they aren't like what they feel like everyone else. And so having these students that are facing emotional and social challenges, they sometimes need that corner. And having this Calming Corner to know where they can go to, where it's safe, gives them the freedom and opportunity where sometimes I don't even have to say it out loud. I'll just give whatever student needs it a look, and they know, okay, I'm okay. Mrs. Lamro knows to go to the Calming Corner. And this helps me so that I don't feel overwhelmed and like I need to stop what I'm doing with the whole class to come and deal with that. And sometimes I do. Sometimes as a teacher, you got to stop what you're doing and prioritize that student who needs it. But if you know that they'll be okay, and you learn that as you go, which students really need it and the times. And course integration, I put for one, trauma-informed teaching. This practice recognizes the students that cannot learn when they're dysregulated. The Calming Corner provides a safe space that is predictable, teaches students self-regulation strategies, such as calming down, breathing, reduces the fight, flight, freeze responses, and helps prevent re-trauma through being compassionate. So rather than me yelling at them, telling them to knock it off or just get it together, this doesn't add more trauma to what they're already feeling. The second one I put, restorative practices. This approach prioritizes healing over punishment. So this isn't a punishment. The corner is not a punishment. This helps calm them before we problem solve, before we figure out what caused this problem, what caused them to get over emotional. It gives the chance to promote empathy, and it builds a community by valuing repair rather than blame. So rather than blaming the group, saying, they're mean to me and they are picking on me and they just are yelling at me, because I hear that a lot. This gives that student the chance to just kind of go, decompress, and not blame anyone else. And 3, universal design for learning, or UDL, ensures that every student can access learning by supportive emotional readiness. So visual tools. So I will post a picture at the bottom of my paper here, and it's part of it. It's kind of moved around right now because I have a Christmas tree there, but you will see my mirror, my self-affirmation mirror. I have a bench on the corner that has books on it, and it has a pillow, and there's also a rug there, and at the library. And over at the library is where they've dragged the beanbag. So it kind of goes, around the room. But having those visual tools and charts, multiple calming strategies, so the breathing, sensory, and movement, and flexible student chosen regulation. So they get to choose what works for them, what doesn't, and every day it could be different. Doesn't always have to be the same. Design and implementation plan. So step 1 is to design and create the Calming Corner space. So that I put month 1. That I did during the summer before I started. I decided where I wanted this, what I needed in it, and I just kind of did bare until I could figure out what I could add throughout the year, what the students liked. So a comfortable rug, pillows, fidget toys, visual cards that show emotions, books about feelings, emotions, control, and friendship, positive affirmation mirror that has the different sayings all around it. And then step 2 is daily morning meeting. So this is daily and done every day all year. So this one is where they would come in and doing their greeting. So they can greet me with I stand by the door when they come in, and they can greet me with a hug, a high five. Sometimes my kids like to just do funny faces. I don't know, just whatever they're feeling in the mood for that day. We do like a greet. And then using groups to do pair share to learn to work together. So every morning after we've done our bell work and hung up our stuff, we'll come back, and on my Promethean board I have a topic or a question of the day. And they do either a pair share in their group to answer that question, and it helps them get to know each other a little bit better. And then step 3 is daily reward and reflect time. I do this at the last 15 minutes of the day after we've cleaned up. We just do short, quick, how did we do? We go over short lessons on friendship, respect, rules, procedures. Sometimes we have to go over those procedures every day because it's a learning progress here. And then step 4 is family and community partnerships. So this is done quarterly, which I put quarterly, but honestly, I have an open relationship with pretty much all my students' parents, where they can text me, or in our Remind app, they can ask how their students are learning, how they're doing, what they need. They can come in on birthdays or sharing cultural background, traditions, and stories. Some resources that are needed were the picture cards, fidget toys, pillows and rugs, a mirror, sayings to go with the mirror, and then translated tools for multilingual families to refer to. I don't have any of the last one because I don't have any any other kids that speak any other language in our class this year. But I will have that so that if I have one next year that it's ready to go. And some anticipated challenges would include students overusing or abusing the calming corner. So a solution would be just to set a timer. Say, hey, you get 2 minutes, and that's your calm down time. Another one would be behavior conflicts. So a solution would be using restorative language and model the problem solving so that it doesn't become a further problem. Intended outcome is by the end of the school year, students will be able to show increased engagement in learning, and they can report telling me when they feel safe, respected, and included, and they can show and demonstrate growth and development and in empathy and involvement. Some evaluation methods, student reflections and demonstrations in various ways, teacher observation notes, family feedback, and check-ins, and reduction in conflict incidents. And the vision for equity and compassion is, this is a classroom where every child should feel loved, seen, included, and they should be free to make decisions on their own. Sometimes kids grow up and they don't get any of those in their life, and they come to school, and sometimes I've been told by lots of teachers that are veteran teachers that that's sometimes more important than the curriculum that day, is that they just feel one of those things, loved, seen, included. As a third grade teacher, I see some of this on a daily basis, and it is a wonderful thing to see. I want my students to remember me for years, and I want to make them feel heard, special, seen, and anything else they need to grow. The Calming Corner is designed to help students grow into confident people who can have the time that they need to feel their emotions without hurting others. Everyone needs a timeout. Even as an adult, I find that I need a minute to breathe when I'm feeling overwhelmed and not confident in what I am doing. I want to have a warm classroom where everyone is welcome and included. Teaching is amazing, and we are shaping the minds of little ones. Part of teaching is helping them to regulate their feelings and emotions that they will use more and more as they get older. Thanks.